The Tim Pool of TimCast URL has finally decided to call out Canny Owens because this drama is getting beyond. Like it needs to stop, right? So Tim Pool put out a tweet going, Candace Owens drama is probably the most demoralizing SHIT ever. It's true crime soap opera drama that isn't helping anyone. It's not advancing policy goals. It's just shock content retardation. And I have to agree, that is a excellent take on, well, what I've been talking about for quite some time. She's a shock jock. She is a psychopathic narcissist. And I'll take it a step further. She is endangering the lives of many people that Charlie Kirk loved and cared about. So if you really claim to be Charlie Kirk's friend, why in the world would you do this? But you've convinced yourself, Candace, and you're convincing so many other people that you are actually investigating. And anyone that doesn't investigate the way that you are investigating, then they don't care about Charlie's legacy. They don't care about him at all, which is simply not the case. And, you know, what's interesting to me is post Charlie's death, you've seen like this fraction. And it's almost as if like Charlie was holding everyone accountable and everyone together. And then post his death, Candace took advantage of Charlie not being around anymore. She's made a lot of money from his death, and it's all in the name of her trying to find Charlie Kirk's killer. But we haven't even gotten anywhere close to that. It's just all these accusations. She's not going to rest until she finds the truth. Except her truth is foundational in lies. Just foundation set in lies. That's it. So Tim saying this right now, he's saying because the Republican Party is at odds. You have the far right that is infiltrating just the right. You got Nick Fuentes and the Groypers. You have so many people that are listening to him right now. And it's almost as if like you're seeing a unity forming with Candace, with Tucker, with Megyn Kelly now. And I think Megan's seeing it. And she's like, well, I want part of that. So I'm not going to attack the two 800-pound gorillas here. I'm just going to come out in defense of Candace and Tucker and start going after Ben, even though she claims that Ben is her friend. And you're seeing all these people, like even Patrick Bet-David and his crew, like, yes, they're platforming the likes of Nick Fuentes, which I'm not against people platforming. You can platform whoever you want. It's more about why. Why are you trying to? And if you are going to platform someone like Nick Fuentes, why? What's the purpose? What's the ultimate aim? And sure, Patrick Bet-David, to his credit, did call him out on certain things that he said, like, you're a racist, you're this, you're this. Tucker didn't. Tucker just let him talk, gave him a platform. I liked Patrick Bet-David's interview with Nick because Patrick pushed back, albeit a little bit, but he still pushed back. Could have done a lot better, but still. And now there is this fragmentation occurring. And yesterday you had Nick Fuentes and so many people joined in. He's going, MAGA is dead. See, that kind of messaging, people may like gloss over it, but it's important because this guy has a lot of young people's ears. And if you're not looking at it from a biblical lens, let's say, or even just a common sense lens too, by the way, common sense and spirituality or just biblical spirituality goes hand in hand, just so you're aware. So it's important for us to have discernment, to know what the Bible says, to know what's going on in conservatism. And sure, this is happening in America, but it's also happening here in Australia. People that call themselves Christians, you can always start saying it. It's like there's a track record of it. And they always go against the Jews. It's always the first thing. They're obsessed with going against the Jews. They won't call out too much of let's say, China or Russia, what Russia's doing. even though Russia's stealing actual land. And they'll just go after Israel and say Israel is a big bad wolf. So there's that side of the argument. You have Nick Fuentes, who is a Hitler lover. He is a Nazi. He is a woman hater. He hates the Jews. He's been known to say all these things, and people still defend him. People still say he's right. And that's been trying to be forced to the forefront of conservatism. And then you've got Candace Owens, who's just lying and grifting for her own benefit to fund the Brigitte Macron lawsuit because it's going to cost a lot of money. So she's made a lot of money from Charlie Kirk's death, but she has tried to demoralize and destroy his legacy. Alex Clark goes, and don't forget, burning down his legacy and implicating innocent people in his murder, a cover-up, fun. So Candace has started going after anyone that has a difference of opinion to her. She went after Kerry Smith. She's gone after the likes of Ali Beth Stuckey recently. That's another video for another time because Ali Beth decided to respond. So anyone that has she's gone after Seth Dillon as well. Anyone has the right Christian approach, she's gone after, which leads me to go, it's a spiritual warfare, isn't it? But saying that with Nick Fuentes, MAGA is dead, Candace Owens going against Trump now, can't stand him, wants a war with Trump. You're seeing, and I was listening to Patrick Bet-David this morning saying that like she's the number one podcast on the right. She ain't on the right, mate. Anyone that says that Candace Owens is on the right, and even Tim Pool says it in this video that you're about to watch, anyone that says that she's on the right, it's a joke. They're lying. Because she ain't on the right. Nowhere near it. So I think we've got to be very, very careful moving forward. And I think we need to define what conservatism actually is, our values, because I ain't uniting with the alt-right. No, thank you. Seth Dillon goes to Tim Pool's post, waiting for the usual suspects to blast Tim for stupid infighting that only encourages leftists to assassinate more of us. Yes, there's loads of those, as it would seem. Ashton Forbes goes, I'm not unifying or forgiving anyone who is pushing Charlie Kirk was killed by Israel garbage. I didn't support it when the woke left were redefining reality, and I won't support it when the woke right does it. So I want to show you Tim Pool's calling out of Candace Owens because it is important. Have a watch.
You know, I'm looking at the violence at Turning Point USA, and I'm looking at Turning Point and Candace, and it is true. Someone at Turning Point was leaking stuff to her, like for what reason? And I'm wondering what Turning Point is doing. I don't hold Turning Point, you know, responsible for what Candace is doing, but I'm just like looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me put it like this for all you guys. I don't care if Candace is right or wrong, or Turning Point, or anybody else in the drama is right or wrong. That's fine. People are allowed to do whatever they want. They're allowed to talk about whatever they want. The issue is that at the end of August, where were we as a country? We were here doing our shows, talking news and politics, of course, and preparing for the end of the year special, as we often do. There was a plan, there was a path, and for me, both personally and professionally, things were looking up. The show and everything here, we're growing. We're bringing on good people. We're expanding. We've got, coffee sales are going up, and memberships and board sales and organization. Skate night events we've been doing have been massively successful. So business is good. And politically, we're riding the wave, baby. Trump won. Let's keep going. Don't get me wrong. There were terror attacks throughout the year, but Trump was on track. I texted Charlie Kirk, and I asked him, just following up on the plan for the end of the year, because TimCast IRL does Turning Point's Amfest the past 3 years. It's an amazing experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to be there. And Charlie texted me back, Look at me revealing our texts, saying, "Let me circle back to the team and get you the details. We'll get it going." Because I said, "Hey, let's get this. Let's get it set up so we can, set everything up in advance." I've got some other PR opportunities and stuff in the area. And a week after that, they killed him. And so I'll tell you what I'm saying, what I'm feeling. That moment before Charlie was murdered, there was a path that we were on that was promising. Now, 2 months later, the narrative has turned into conspiracy drama about Charlie Kirk. If Turning Point was involved in it, references to Jewish donors pulling out and how Erica knew everything. And that's the narrative the #1 podcast has given us. Candace can talk about whatever she wants. Same thing with Tucker Carlson. I will defend. No one has an obligation to hold my views or do what I want them to do. I'm not saying Candace should or should not do anything. My point is the audience effect of what I'm seeing. It felt like we were focused. Trump needed to win. The agenda needed to continue. Now, what do we have? Well, half the people are tweeting about the Jews. The other half are tweeting about how Turning Point killed Charlie. The #1 podcast is just basically covering the true crime aspect of an assassination of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And I'm just like, focus is gone. Was Charlie really holding all of this together? Maybe. Seriously. And focus is gone. And it seems like H-1Bs with Trump, Chinese visas. And I'm just sitting here being like, wow, someone took a sledgehammer to the right coalition and splattered it. And like goop sprang in every direction. We are all now completely dejected and ripped apart. Forgive me for being a little bit blackpilled on the issue. But then I take a look at that and Gen Z basically saying we don't care. And I'm like, okay, well, we're losing the younger generation. They're not pro-Trump. You've got the biggest right-leaning podcast is basically just true crime now. And again, I'm not saying that Candace doesn't have the right to do that. They're mad at Tucker for interviewing Nick Fuentes, and he has every right to hold the opinions he wants to hold. I'm just saying right now, we're fractured. And the left is not. They're still up to their schemes, still doing their thing. It's demoralizing. It's completely demoralizing.
One podcast in the world, right? According to Tim Pool, the #1 podcast has turned Charlie Kirk's death into a conspiracy theory for clicks, for money. That doesn't seem right to me, does it? And more than that, what this has done is it's continuously decided to fracture the right, fracture conservatism. All because one person who didn't have the #1 podcast prior to Charlie Kirk's death tried to get the #1 podcast. And guess what happened? After Charlie died, she gets the #1 podcast. It's the only reason why she's got the #1 podcast. But at what cost? Fracturing Charlie Kirk's legacy, all the hard work that he put in, accusing Turning Point USA employees of being involved, accusing Erica Kirk. So if you really claim to have loved Charlie, been Charlie's friend, why in the world are you trying to destroy everything that he built? Why? So you can earn money, so you can, she honestly believes, and I don't think this is accurate because narcissists and psychopaths will say whatever the heck they want to say to make themselves look good. She honestly believes that she is investigating Charlie Kirk's murder and she's going to find out who did it. And there's crazy people that follow her and they believe it too. And anyone that Candace accuse, they will come after. Saw her with Seth Dillon. So what Tim is saying is accurate. We had, before Charlie's death, there was great momentum. Riding a wave, man. Everything's good. Charlie would never platform Nick Fuentes. It wasn't even going to happen. Things were looking up. And then all of a sudden, Tim said they killed him. Who's they? Again, I think Tyler killed him. A crazy leftist killed him. The trial's coming up next year. We'll wait to see what happens then. But I think Candace is using this time to make as much money as she possibly can, or at the behest of those that love Charlie, those who are close to Charlie. She does not care if it does them any harm or damage. And it needs to stop. It really does need to stop. Because it's not going to further the conversation anymore, is it? People are still trying to agree. It's like 2 months on. And you got Nick Fuentes saying that MAGA is dead. You've got all these things that are taking place, and yet the left, the radical leftists, they're cheering, man. This is what happens when you take out someone that is very important in conservatism. Everyone just becomes conspiracy theorists, crazy people, because they saw an opportunity to use Charlie's name. Candace did. Several others did as well. And it's disgusting. Now, there's lots of things that Tim Pool has said that I disagree with him on, but I think in this case, he's right. It's become this conspiratorial soap opera that's not helping anyone except for Candace and her cult-like following. It's not helping Erica. And the Bible's quite clear. Edify. And sure, I'm calling her out, but the Bible also talks about calling people out. The truth matters. Maybe we should start focusing on the truth and not conspiracy theories, because she's got no evidence. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.